Mm, 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 mm. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see. I don't know what I did on there. Go. I'm gonna give everybody a second. Um, but we need to have a chat. I wonder if y'all can hear the people outside. Oh, not my Wi-Fi signal this week. Hey, hey, hey. We need to have a talk. We need to have a talk based on something that happened earlier today. And y'all know one thing about it, I can hold a grudge. Hey, Nika girl. One thing about it, I can hold a grudge. And I just cannot let this go. And so I'm going to run my mouth about this like I do everything else. Mm-mm-mm. All right. All right. So for those of y'all who don't follow me on Instagram, right? What's up? For those of y'all who don't follow me on Instagram, I was on Instagram earlier on my story talking about a conversation that we ended up having this morning during a meeting of financial counselors through the AFCPE. And I really want to address something that happened during that meeting and talk to y'all about it. How many on-time payments are needed to make up for a late payment? Books. Oh yeah. So drop whatever questions y'all got in the comments too, because while I'm running my mouth, of course I can ask questions since I'm here wasting y'all time. Um, there's no exact science to it. Obviously they're not going to tell us like the exact formula that they use. And there's no like list that comes out that says, oh, you lose X amount of points. If you all right, we live, baby. I don't know what happened, but we back. So yeah, I was telling everybody on TikTok, like I'm an actual, like I have a FINRA designation, right? So FINRA is like a big organization. Think of it like Big Brother, the government almost, right? Like they're in charge of a lot of shit, including like how people conduct business and things like that. So like I have code of ethics that I have to adhere to. I have laws that I have to follow. Like I'm just not a bitch with a phone that was just like, you know what, let me just start talking to people, right? Like I put work into this. Like this is something to me. Um that being said, let me tell y'all the conversation. So we were all talking about financial trends or like think conversations that are about to be popping up. You know, student loans came up. Shout out to Debt Free Gonna Be on Instagram because I definitely shouted you out in that meeting. But like one of the people was kind of releasing, they were talking about all this student loan stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, it was boring as fuck. It's no other way to say it. She was boring as shit the way she was saying it. So I'm pretty sure she was boring people who have similar interests as me if she was trying to explain it to them, right? So whenever I'm in these networking situations, my only goal is to help. So like if I see you're not meeting a need, I'll give you like, hey, maybe you should try this. Like I'm the queen of suggestions, okay? Because I'm the queen of I try anything once. So she was giving out all this information and she, it was vocalized that this is a lot of information to be putting out at once. People wanted suggestions on how they could get that information out. People were talking about what are ways they can get that information out as quickly as possible, as accurately as possible. So one thing about it, y'all know I read for everybody black. So I started spitting out content creators and financial influencers that I know personally, like debt free gonna be, millennial in debt, bougie budgeter, bitch I'm budgeted. Like you get what I'm saying? Like I listed all of the content creators that I know for a fact have valuable, accurate information, right? Like, bro, they invited debt free gonna be to the White House. Sis was going to the White House to talk student loans, right? To Joe. Like, and so like these are reputable people, y'all. So the actual suggestion was, you could partner with some financial influencers who are already doing this work. One, it's less work for you to do, right? All you would have to do is say, hey, guys, some new information just came out, and here's where you can find it, like studentaid.gov. But if you're looking for another way, to receive this information, here are some content creators that I personally put my stamp on and suggest you guys go follow, right? Simple email broadcast that could have went out through ConvertKit and took you maybe like 5-6 minutes to get all the links and stuff together to all the platforms. It really wasn't no skin off your back to like it's not a heavy lift. So that was the first suggestion that I had. And me myself being a financial influencer and baby, an award-winning financial influencer at that. So I'm speaking from experience on the impact that we have on this community, right? Like, baby, I don't just be talking. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, so anyway, so I say what I got to say. Obviously, most people was like, yo, that's a really good idea. Like, if they're already having these conversations, I don't have to have these conversations, bro. I can just send them to you. Obviously, you're going to give your audience access to the direct source, right? Studentaid.gov or whatever authority is issuing this information. But like, I mean, it takes nothing to collaborate with people who's already doing the work to reach the audience that you're neglecting to connect with. Bro, do you know that? And it wasn't just this one person, it was multiple people. I'm mad that the camera wasn't working on that other person because I really want to see their face because I really can't wait for them to eat crow when they really realize what's going on. They pretty much tried to. He told me he got on the little call or whatever with everybody in front of everybody on Beyonce's internet and was like, "Oh, they're just doing it for the likes and the clicks. They don't know what they're talking about. There's no laws that say they can't say this or they can't do that. Like, no one's there to like fact check their information. Like, no, I would never send my audience, I would never send my clients to an influencer. What?" And I'm just like, bro, so like, okay, shout out to Colleen Satchow, right? I'm probably messing her last name up, but like me, Colleen, Amy, I know Dr. Severin Bryant, I know she had her camera off, but I can just imagine her face because like we all hit the like what? And yes, they was first the fuck off. I don't think they realized this the part when like I realized like yeah they be having me fucked up sometimes, and I think that I'm a little bit too humble. Um, I think I'm a lot of bit too humble. And people mistake that as I'm not qualified because I don't drag my designation on people's foreheads because I'm not really like because I don't come with that air of arrogance or like that I know more than people. People assume I don't know shit. Let me be abundantly clear. I was the first time going that AFC exam, baby. I turned my 1,000 hours in before the end of the week. I earned this spot. I'm not just a bitch with a cell phone. And the fact that they did that in a meeting for AFC, so this means that everybody in this room is an accredited financial counselor through the same organization. And you thought that was cute to say? I don't get it. Like I just it really bothered me. Like it really chapped my fucking ass because it was just like, what makes you better than me? And I typically and these individuals were higher education individuals, so people who work at the collegiate level. And I see this all the time from them. And it boils my blood, yo. It really stresses me the fuck out because I just don't understand why these old ass people don't realize that as the time change, so do everything else. Right? Like there's more than one way to put out information. Okay, cool. You lead them to studentaid.gov. She was like, well, I mean, if they want it in video, you can go on the Department of Education YouTube channel. I was like, have you ever watched them videos? I thought it was very boring as shit. Or people don't understand the verbiage that they're using. Or what about the people who don't trust the government but still need this information? Like, what the fuck? Like, how dare you? Like, me putting this information on social media does not cheapen or lessen the fact that we got the same designation, babe. We got the same job. Like, it was so wild and from left field. I was not expecting it at all. It really threw me off. And I think I was more pissed off because of the fact that as a Black woman, my expertise is often questioned. For those of you who are not familiar with my platform Beyond Today, very recently, a very prominent individual in the personal finance community did a whole 1 hour dissertation off a video I made 2 years ago on an opinion I had on Dave Ramsey. I am not the only person with this opinion, and I am not the Lorax. I don't speak for the niggas. So I don't understand why he chose my video, which didn't have the most views. He wasn't tagged in a whole lot, or even recently. The video was 2 years ago. So I just could not put the pieces together on why I was chosen, but they chose that moment to belittle me and demean the message that I was trying to get across. And it all boils down to it's because I'm a Black woman. We gonna call it what it is. It's so easy for y'all to villainize us because the way we put a message out is not the way you would put a message out. Or because I don't look like, now I might look like something today, but if you're familiar with my content, you know it's nothing for me to have my bonnet on, be laying in the bed, sitting up here with a hoodie. The other day I was live, I had on a my Letter Kenny hockey jersey, right? It's so easy for people to question my expertise or my dedication or anything, right? Because I don't look like them, right? I don't speak like them. I don't behave in a way that they believe that me as a Black woman should be behaving, or just me as a woman in general too. We can call it what it is. Um, and it really chaps my ass, bro, because then when I get to talking to these people, they make these assumptions about me, right, based off of what they think they see online, right? And I heard it a lot, especially when I first dyed my hair green. Jesus Christ. When I first dyed my hair green, bro, I've heard it all. And it was just like people were tying how much I knew or the value of my content or my brand based on the color of my hair. Like, are you kidding me? Or the facial piercings. The facial piercings really be gagging them old people. I don't know what it is with them and this nose piercing, but they just hate it when I'm trying to be myself. And it's just like, I can't say that on here. I cannot say that on here. What about me pisses you off? Because then we get to talking and y'all realize I'm a U.S. Army retired serviceman, and I've done some pretty cool shit. And I'm in school to get my bachelor's degree in economics, and I have a full-time job as a content creator, like doing financial related content. Like, I'm more than just a bitch who picked up a phone and was like, you know what, I got something to say. Like, they won't even take the time to watch a piece of content to see if I know what I'm talking about or if I know my stuff. They just see me or see me say something completely unrelated to my work and be like, she don't know shit. She ain't nobody. Like, don't listen to her. Bro, that irritated me so fucking much because the women specifically that I mentioned and recommended to the people in that chat are women who have dedicated years of their lives to this work. Some of them do this full time. Shout out to Melissa, like she does this full time, right? Like, so it's like I felt to me like they were insulting the dedication and the hard work and the passion and the everything that my friends have poured into their brands. And some of my friends have $1 million brands based off of this too. So it's like they know what they're doing and they know what they're talking about. But y'all just assumed that we hold no value because we put our information on social media. Like, how dare you? Bro, like what the like I was so offended, and y'all know I do not take disrespect light. Um, and I'm learning. Y'all know I transitioned a couple years ago from the military to the civilian life. And we talk a lot different to each other in the military, so I can't say how I really feel, but like it really offended me that not only did she say like, well, that not they say, let me say they, not only did they say pretty much that social media influencers and particularly financial influence had no idea what they're talking about. And so we spew out information that has nothing to do with nothing, that's inaccurate and often illegal. They tried to lie and say, well, legally you're not allowed to direct or redirect people to social media. She was like, it's illegal. For real? That's funny because I partnered with the National Credit Union Administration at the end of 2022 at their DEI summit to talk about the importance of being able to leverage the social authority and the worth of these social media influencers to reach unbanked and underserved communities. Are you sure? Because I partnered with the FDIC and the NCUA when they did a online webinar with people who employ youth on how they can better communicate with that audience, right? About the things like we need to be knowing about budgeting and credit and all that stuff through social media. Like, are you sure? Because I've done stuff with the National Endowment for Financial Education. I've partnered with fintech companies. I've worked with financial institutions. Like, are you sure we hold no value, or is you just a hater? Because a lot of these old school, antiquated CFPs and financial advisors and all that stuff, the reason they don't want y'all on social media is because they don't understand it. And if you force them to have to start engaging on these platforms with you, they're gonna be they got wrong. And they don't want to do it. So they'd rather you just not go there. They'd just rather you just not go there. I just think it's so crazy to me that people will allow their bias to be so apparent in those situations. I think it's so crazy to me that in a room full of AFCs, you chose the I guess I can only say me, right? Because I was the only one that said this. But like, you really chose me to sit here and say you don't know nothing. You like we not bound by the same code of ethics. Like, were you not thinking when you said that? I was very offended. I was very offended by that. Just because we post our information on social media don't mean like we don't know what we're talking about. Like, where did that logic even fucking come from? As long as these people have the I don't even know what to call it. Like, and then what about that's so disrespectful for them to say that. Yeah, yeah. Oh, hi, Brandy. I wasn't reading these comments. Sorry. People think because you're professional, you have to fit this bland square box, and that is so wrong. That's because they have to fit into a bland square box. And you know, that was the conversation we was having on Twitter Spaces a couple weeks ago. And shout out to Fin Noir and everybody who be participating in that. I'm not active on X, but every other Monday we do an X space. And this was back. We've been doing this since back when it was still Twitter. And it's where we talk like it's a group of Black personal finance content creators, and we come together and just be like having open conversation. Anybody can join, so y'all could definitely pull up on us. But we had the conversation about like when you aren't beholden to people, right? You don't have to abide by certain rules. And I own my financial counseling practice. I own the money plug. That's my copyright, right? Like that's my trademark. That's my brand. I ain't no boss. As long as I'm following the law that is I like set before me, right? I'm not beholden to nobody. So no, I don't have to dress business casual every time I get on the camera. And no, I don't have to use politically correct language if I don't fucking want to, right? And no, I don't have to have my hair a certain way or dye my hair a certain color, or and I don't have to take out my fucking nose piercings. Like, no, I don't have to do none of that because this is my shit. This my shit. That does not make my shit any less valuable than your shit. It can be not your cup of tea without you openly discriminating against everybody who just wants to put the information and make it a little bit more accessible. That is why there is such a large wage gap. Y'all gatekeep. the real tea, you would think it would be beneficial to shed light on influencers that do provide accurate information. Absolutely. If you know for a fact that there is rampant information online, if you know for a fact that there's so much misinformation and so much like incorrect everything and it's a lot of noise, why not highlight the people who are putting in the extra work, right, to ensure that the information that they're giving out is accurate? Why not highlight the people who do the job you do just a lot more like out loud, right? We all do the same work. It's just that y'all see a whole lot more of me than y'all will see of them. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's important to show different journeys and different people at different stages. I think that's really important to empower a lot more people. Not sit here and tell me that my word ain't good enough because I'm on social media. Like, what? What? Your looks have nothing to do with the knowledge you hold in your head. Absolutely. I don't know. My forehead kind of big brand. It's got to be a big brand in there. Even it would redirect the audience away from misinformation. Yep, I know you produce content about finances, but I gotta say you're gorgeous. Thank you. I was wearing them. Oh, that made me feel good. But yeah, like, oof, that really made me mad. That really pissed me off. And really, why it pissed me off was because like I had did this recommending, and I'm talking like big. Let me tell y'all something. One thing about me, if you know me and I know you do something, oh, I'm telling everybody. Oh, I'm telling everybody. And so I had just got done like, oh yeah, follow this person and this person and this person got a book. And if you a first gen, you can follow this. Like I was on it just for you to turn around and be like, yeah, nah, we not. I don't recommend them to my clients because did you not hear me tell you how awesome my fucking friends was, bro? And now you sitting here in my face, girl, fight me. Like I was so mad. I was really offended. I was really offended by that conversation. And I think it was because of how, and honestly, this goes back to shout out to Rakim. I'm supposed to be in my trauma of money affinity group right now, but this was kind of weighing on me a little bit. And I wanted to talk about it, but this goes back to my financial trauma, right? And the reason why a lot of us don't know certain things or a lot of us don't have access to wealth management and things like that is because it is gate kept by a select type of people. And if these people don't deem you worthy, they will not impart that knowledge on you. And this felt like one of those moments where they were deeming me unworthy, so I can't be a part of the conversation. Right. And it really made me feel some kind of way because I worked hard for this. I worked very hard for everything that I've earned. I've appeared in the New York Times. I won 3 awards last year. I've all together, my reach is over a million fucking people. I got over like 14 million likes on TikTok alone. And that's just likes. That don't count plays, like lifetime plays and stuff like that. Like I've done some pretty amazing fucking things and none of it mattered. I still wasn't enough. You see what I'm saying? And how triggering that can be? That antiquated, privileged way of thinking that they have, that they get to dictate who can and can't say certain things and share certain stories or be considered an authority in a certain space. Because what? Because I don't work for a college or a university. Newsflash, a lot of us won't be able to work for colleges or universities. Does that make all of us dumb? No, it just means ain't that many jobs. It really bothered me to my core because it's bigger than just you. That's just a preference of mine. They didn't position it like that. It was positioned like all financial influencers are untrustworthy because because like, and it wasn't even no real reason given, because like what's the reason? What was the reason? If we're in a room full of AFCs, I don't even know what would possess you to say shit like that. And then in the same tone in the chat, recommend the budget Nista for everybody to follow. I don't even think, is she a CFP or anything like that? I don't think so. And I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, correct me. Hmm. Does she have a FINRA designation? But you recommended her. You recommended her. You recommended the budget Nista, right? Someone who don't got the designation and the credential that you telling everybody that you know is necessary. But I'm an AFC just like you're an AFC. I'm a fiduciary like you a fiduciary. But I don't see you saying that shit up under her pictures that she just doing this shit for likes. So then why would you recommend her and not recommend me? What's the difference between the two of us? Hmm? Hmm? I think, and it's so funny that we're having this conversation because next month I'm scheduled to give a webinar with the AFCPE, and it's called Finance in Full Color. And it's about being in, it's about intentional diversity in financial education and how it is way past time for us to get past that antiquated way of thinking and teaching and the one size fits all mentality that a lot of y'all try to squeeze us into, and that we need to start looking into more culturally sensitive options. There need to be more Black people speaking to Black people. There needs to be more first gen Latin people speaking with first gen Latin, right? It's not, like it needs to be people with shared experiences. And even if it's just in the genetics, right? If you've been doing the study on epigenetics, and I've talked about it a couple of times, we are often born with the trauma of our ancestors. And that is not just like an assumption, has been scientifically proven. We are born with the trauma of our ancestors written into our DNA. And so it's only right that like we help us, right? And I think it's not, I think, I know it's way past time for us to start addressing this and being a little bit more intentional with how we are serving and who we are serving. And I'm giving this class next month for Black History Month, and it's not lost on me that now I'm having to have this conversation now, which just shows that there is a need for these conversations. Somebody was like, because originally when I pitched this class, and I've talked about this on threads if you follow me, but I don't use the term BIPOC when referring to myself, and I ask that I am not referred to as a woman of color or BIPOC. I'm very intentional with my language. I am a Black woman, right? I'm a Black woman. That's how I ask to be addressed. Um, I don't say nothing offensive, or like that's literally just kind of how I say it. Now, when I originally pitched this, because my framework is called the Black framework, or like, and that's the framework that financial counseling practices can follow to ensure that they are being intentionally diverse, right? Exactly. We're not telling the same story. And so this acknowledges that and talks about how to do that. And if you're not Black and you have a Black audience, bringing in somebody who is Black, right? Like, and talking about stuff like that, or being more intentional or more inclusive with certain things, doing direct, like targeted marketing for certain demographics, like stuff like that. And so when I originally pitched it, it was very much how you do, like, I make stuff for Black people and Black people, Black people, Black people. And I had to change it to be obviously more inclusive, because it's not, even though I can only speak for the Black experience, there is value to be had in what I am sharing. But even the fact that I had to change it from Black to that shows me that we need more trainings like mine. More people need to be bringing up this conversation, because I'm gonna be real with you. I truly do not believe that it had anything to do with the fact that we're on social media. It was the fact that, how dare I, some little Black girl, she's probably old enough to be my grandmother, say that like what you're doing is not working, you should try something else. That's what I took from that. And again, I can't speak for everybody else's experience. In the military, something that was drilled into my head was perception is reality. So if this is how I am perceiving what you're saying to me, that's my reality. And I am reacting to that reality. I just think they had me fucked up. There's no other way to say that, yo. They really had me fucked up in that meeting. And shout out to, and there were a lot of people, Dr. Sev, Colleen, both Amy's. There was a lot of people in the chat who were, like, yo, like that's crazy for you to say that when, financial influencers work, a lot of them work just as hard. A lot of them are us. Like a lot of the younger AFCs, CFPs, and stuff like that are on social media, and that does not diminish the work that they're doing. Um, so yeah, I really wanted to address that because that really pissed me off today. And I think it pissed me off because here I am bragging on my friends, and now you're trying to tell me my friends not good enough. Bitch, my friends too good. She don't want to talk to your audience, no way. Like, bro, I was hot. I was hot. I ain't gonna hold you. But I definitely think it's time we started having more conversations around, bro, what do wealth look like then? Like, is that like, do I not look wealthy to you? I would think I'm pretty wealthy. I mean, I work because I want to, not because I have to. literally, like I don't just say that. I got my own business that's bringing in additional income. I have multiple businesses that's bringing in income. I'm investing actively. I maxed my Roth IRA last year, right? I'm putting money into my company matching 401k, right? You know, I'm doing the work. I feel like I live a really wealthy life, right? I spend a lot of time with my family. I get to raise my beautiful kids. Um, uh, I mean, I don't know, bro. I don't know what wealth's supposed to look like if it don't look like that. I'm gonna be real with you. I mean, it don't get much wealthier than that. I'm happy. I'm healthy. I got money in my pocket. I mean, what the fuck? What else y'all want from me? It just irritates me that they move the goalpost, so it feels like no matter what accomplishment I get or no matter what achievement I'm celebrating on social, it's still never enough to some people. Cause I'll never be enough to some people. You can't. The thing is, you're not just reacting to the shit. Your experience and knowledge puts you in a position to act and respond in the way you are now. You're killing it and you're making effective change. Y'all know I love y'all. You handle it well, and I think it's important to remember that at the end of the day, you can't change people who don't want to see other perspectives. You were made to reach your audience. Absolutely, absolutely. Mm. It's just, oh, I hate that because there's so much opportunity there, man. They will never talk to your audience the way you can. Absolutely, absolutely. It's just so frustrating to me because we could be so much further along if people would just learn how to let their biases go and collaborate. And it's just crazy in this sector, right? In this space where we're all supposed to be about what can we do to serve and how can we serve all these people and how can we help and we want to do all this change and change the world, but you're allowing your biases to keep you from doing that. So like, do you really want to change the world or do you just want to change the part of the world that look like you? And I mean, you can say that, and that's cool, but just like be upfront about it so I know how to carry you. You get what I'm saying? Let me know. But y'all know me. When I feel slighted or when I feel disrespected or anything like that, I gotta talk. We gonna talk about it. Um, I'm a millennial. I overshare. Of course, I'm a millennial. Of course, I overshare on the internet. I said all that to say you can absolutely trust some financial influencers, right? Y'all know I share them to my story all the time, and it be the same people over and over. Rod, Kim, Sabri, Gigi, the first gym mentor. She got a book coming out next week. Um, Melissa John Baptiste, she's millennial on debt. Nika, she's debt free, gonna be. Clarissa loves money. Like, bro, no, Clarissa explains money. Like, I share as many people as possible. We could even be talking about all the same shit, and I'm still gonna share your stuff. We could literally post a video bar for bar saying the same shit, and I'm gonna still share it. You know why? Because just because my audience like me, right, don't mean that somebody don't come across my content. Yo, I don't like how she said it. All right, so maybe you'll like how Clarissa said it, or maybe you'll like how Nika said it, or maybe you'll like how Melissa said it, right? Like I'm not in the space of like it's not a competition. If we're gonna change the world, I can't do it by myself. I need people, and I don't know. Maybe this is the naivete in me, right? Because I'm so used to being part of a team, right? Being in the military, I might not like you, I might not fuck with you, but we got a mission to do and we gonna get it done. It don't matter my personal feelings. I like none of that is important. We gotta get this shit done so I can go home. Or I gotta get this done so I can get this bullet on my NCOER. You get what I'm saying? So we shut up and we get the job done. And I think I kind of expect that out of the civilian interactions that I have. And it still kind of is mind boggling to me that other people don't think like that. They're not team oriented or mission focused like that. It really hurts my feelings, low key. We did as pause movie night to catch up with Marquita. It's that influencer in you oversharing. I blame the pandemic, low key. Well, I was telling my business way before that. I can't even sit here and tell a lie. Y'all see I was about to lie like that? I don't know. But here are some things you need to look out for when y'all find some new little influencers or whatever on social media and they talking about money or plays or getting the bags or whatever. and you're not sure if you should be listening to them or following their advice, here's what you should look out for, right? Number one, there's nothing wrong with asking, are you certified? There's nothing wrong with asking that. And if they're not, it doesn't mean that the information that they have is incorrect or you shouldn't trust them. But that is one way that you can check and be like, okay, this person has invested their time, their money, and their brain power into educating themselves properly and making sure that they adhere to a certain standard. And whenever you have any kind of like designation, it usually comes with some strings attached, like a code of ethics, or maybe a code of conduct that tells or outlines what you can and can't say and can and can't do. For example, before I got my AFC, which is a FINRA designation, I was a board certified credit score consultant and credit repair specialist. That is a real thing. I will never forget how people really tried to drag on me because I would say that in the beginning of my TikTok videos. If you've been following me for like a while, you'll remember my old videos be like, I used to be like, what's up, everybody? My name is Markia. No, I'm AKA the Money Plug. And I'm a board certified credit repair specialist. And I used to say that and then go into the video. And people used to drag in the comments, that's not a real thing. That's the equivalent of going to the third grade. Da, 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 da. You got one? Are you a board certified any fucking thing? No? Oh, okay. You know what that did signal to my audience? It signaled that I give a fuck enough, right? That I took that extra step to get a certification. I took that extra step to demonstrate that, I have the knowledge to help you in these situations. And I had a code of ethics that I had to adhere to. I still have my board certification in credit repair and credit score consultant through the Credit Consultants Association. You can go on their website and check my profile. I have an A+ rating. I mean, do you got it? No. And you can't cheat on them fucking tests. I'm gonna tell you that now. You cannot cheat on them fucking tests. It's hard. Them tests is fucking hard. I'm FCRA certified, which is the Fair Credit Reporting Act. I'm FDCPA certified, which is the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. Right? Like I'm certified, which is through FEMA. Like I'm certified in like emergency planning and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I invested my time and my energy into getting these certifications and taking these tests and doing all these things to show you all how committed I am to ensuring that the information that I'm giving you is accurate. So ask me about it, bro. So if somebody get offended because you ask them, are they certified? They weren't the person for you in the first place. They weren't the person you should have been listening to in the first place. Because even if they're not certified, they'll say, I'm not certified. However, I do have, and list their experience. Or you can ask them, okay, well, what experience do you have? How did you get the knowledge to do this? There's nothing wrong with asking that question. Another way you can kind of discern if people are who they say they are, right? If they're really what they purport themselves to be in the personal finance space, is look at what they saying to y'all. If it's all about plays and hacks and how to get over, and it's just if it sounds too good to be true, bro, it usually is. If it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, I promise it's not a cat. Right? And my favorite one is when they lie to y'all and they'll spit out a law to you. You can check Title 15 of the U.S. Code, subsection 1681. And a lot of people will stop there and be like, damn, you spitting the law out, shorty, you know what you're talking about. But have you ever went and looked at it after having that conversation with them? Because just because I know where to go find shit, don't mean that what I'm telling you is in there. And for a lot of people, it's not. They never read that shit a day in their life. They are copying and pasting other shit that got a lot of views on social media. Like right now on TikTok, right? If you go on TikTok and search FCRA and scroll, you will see video after video after video of these content creators say the same exact script over and over, whether it's text on screen or they saying it out loud. Like same shit over and over. Did you know the FCRA Act says that you don't have to pay these things? And I'm not exaggerating. There's hundreds of thousands of videos that exist on social media of them copying and pasting something that they saw somebody else get 500,000 views on. It's trend jagging. That's it. But they don't know what they're talking about. You can always tell. Ask them where they're getting their information from. Where did you get this from? Can you show me in there where it says this? Or can you break this down into a little bit more detail? They don't, I mean, what they gonna say? No? Okay, cool. Then you can move on to somebody else. But there's nothing wrong with asking questions. I'm not saying, all right, so Brandy said one, ask if they're certified. Two, if they're talking about hacks or cheat codes, they're not the ones. It's not the people who are talking about hacks and cheat codes, right? Because I'll say something is a hack just because it makes my life a little bit easier, right? But if it's not, if it sounds like a scam and it look like a scam, it's a scam. Like if it's like, all right, so check this out. Like, did they the law say this? But if you do it like this, then come on now. Like like something in your gut be telling you like, mm-mm, mm-mm. And another thing that you can do is take their videos and go to somebody you trust. I I get over 100 emails a day, and I can say that without exaggeration. I get over 100 emails a day. And when I'm sitting and I'm going through my emails, most of them are, "Hey, I saw this video and thought of you. Can you tell me what you think about this video?" Or, "Hey, I saw this video. Is this true?" Or like my clients, they obviously they got my cell phone number, so they'll text me like, "Hey, is this true? Because my homegirl said my cousin, baby mother, sister Tracy, right? Like, you get what I'm saying? So like, it's nothing wrong with taking that information and going to somebody you actually trust and having them validate it. That's not hard and don't take much. You can also stick to the rivers and lakes that you used to. You don't got to go searching for somebody else, or why don't you ask them for a recommendation? If there is somebody that you trust, you can go to them and say, "Hey, I know you don't really talk about XYZ, but do you have anybody that you can recommend to me?" So, for example, I do not have the certifications required to administer investment advice. So, while I can teach you the basics of like what a Roth IRA is, right? What's a traditional, what's a 401k, shit like that, I cannot give you investment advice. I cannot tell you how to invest that money. However, I can tell you that three of my favorite accounts that talk about this is what's his name? Damn it. Mark. Y'all, what's Mark's at name on Instagram? Better Wallet. Mark, Better Wallet. And then Kevin, Building Bread. His name is at Building Bread. And then Melissa at Millennial in Debt. He talks about like investing and like her HYSAs and stuff like that. Those are like my top three accounts that I look at. 100% I credit Melissa, Millennial in Debt, Bitch I'm Budgeting, Building Debt, I'm sorry, Building Bread, and Better Wallet for me maxing my Roth IRA last year. I like follow them religiously. I devour their content. I've done the free webinars, all that. Like I be in all this shit because I'm trying to I want that passive income too, goddamn it. So I'm learning just like y'all learning about a lot of shit. But you see how I don't speak on that? I don't talk about it because legally I'm not allowed to talk about it. But I can give you a recommendation. They'll call me the plug for nothing, baby. I'll put you on to somebody that'll help you. I just saw your comment. What color is your Bugatti? I'm fucking screaming. But it's nothing for you, like, just ask me or ask whoever you trust. If there's somebody that you trust, you could always just go to your bank. If you have a traditional bank, like a branch, right? A lot of branches offer free financial services, right, to their members, especially if you're in like a credit union and a good credit union, child. Oof, you can definitely go in there and be like, "Hey, I need to talk to somebody. I got some questions about my money." And it's their literal job to sit down and talk to you. Their literal job. The AFCPE offers a search engine. It's like you go in there and you type your zip code or like your city or whatever, and you can find financial counselors in your area who are accredited financial counselors through their organization that adhere to their code of ethics. A lot of organizations have those. People with like CFPs. I'm pretty sure they got like a CFP database somewhere if that's what you're looking for. Um, there's reputable resources that you can search. But some of my favorite shit is free, like cfpb.gov. Child, don't give me not Navy Federal. Megan, I miss you. Not me. Y'all know how I feel about Navy Federal. I'm hot. Y'all know how I feel about Navy Federal. Oh, let me look at this. Period. I love you too. Bro, but like you don't have like I honestly I'm gonna be real with y'all. A lot of people fall for the schemes and the scams of these like fake ass influencers and shit. Like these crypto boys and the sovereign citizens and the and all that shit. Like they fall for it because they're desperate. When you're going through shit and like you in the thick of it and like you can't see past your situation, you look for anything that's gonna give you that edge up, anything that's gonna get you out of this, anything that's gonna make that load just a little bit lighter. And I get it. I've been there, bro. I tell y'all all the time about like how I got started as the money plug out of necessity, not because I thought the shit was cute. I had to get myself out my own hole, and I fell for all that shit. I hired the Lexington laws. I bought a CPN and was too scared to use it after I did a little digging. What else I did? I did a credit sweep one time. Worst fucking decision I've ever made in my life. I swear. Um, I've done all of that shit that I advise y'all not to do. I don't just say that shit because I like hearing myself talk. I say it because I've done it and it did not work out for me. And now that I know, now what I wish I knew then, I'll be trying to pass that shit on to y'all. My mama always told me a hard head make a soft ass. And let me tell you, it hurt. It hurt. And I don't want y'all to have to go through that. So I tell y'all, like, hey, don't do that. I you make you made me sick. What's wrong with a credit sweep? So here's the thing about credit sweeps. Oh, I guess I need to do a video on that. It has been a while since we talked about those. So here's the thing about a credit sweep. You're not doing shit. With a credit sweep, usually what it do is it sends like a blanket dispute letter out across all of these accounts. Like I'm going to dispute it. And when an account is when an account is under investigation, because a lot of times they'll be like, oh, it was fraud. And so what it'll do is it'll mass wipe those things off while they investigate. At the conclusion of the investigation, if it is found that these items do belong to you, they will repopulate and your score will tank. And let's say you got a credit card during the time of your credit sweep, right? When all that shit came off, you instantly went and got a credit card. If you just got this credit card, or even if you've had this credit card for years, right? If your scores start going down a little bit too much, you know what's going to happen to that credit card? They're going to close it, or they're going to lower your credit limit. Big shout out to Community Bank because they don't play that shit. If you got a Victoria's Secret card and your point go a little bit too much in the wrong direction, they're gonna lower the hell out that credit limit. It's gonna take forever for you to try to negotiate that shit back up. Credit sweeps don't solve the problem. They don't fix nothing. And then the crazy thing about like credit sweeps and CPNs and all that shit, y'all be like, oh, I need it, I need it, I need it. You get it, and then you still don't put yourself in a better position. You'll use the CPN to get the apartment, but you still never change the financial habits that fucked your credit up in the first place. So now, by the time this lease is up and now you quit and you can't use the CPN no more, your credit's still fucked up. You didn't even take that time to work on yourself. You get what I'm saying? It's not fixing the problem. Y'all putting band-aids on bullet wounds and wondering why you still bleeding. $500 buys enough panties for 1 month. In Hawaii, maybe. Shit. But that's why I don't recommend credit sweeps. You will never see me. I mean, since we sitting here talking about shit I don't like, right? Y'all know how I feel about CPNs. Stop fucking playing in my face. If you want to use a CPN, do your thing, but do it knowing the consequences of that action if you're caught. Do it and don't tell people, oh, it's cool, it's not that big of a deal, or it's not illegal. Everybody, celebrities got one. So there's no fuck your CPN, bro. I promise they don't. Somebody commented on a video I did a couple months ago. They commented the other day talking about some, ha ha, that's because she didn't have a government. She didn't get hers from the government. Bro, what are you talking about? The government don't send them out. Hey, Sean, to check your email because I guess I'm putting my Everybody didn't know this, but we did a soft launch for the Mighty Networks group, or the new accountability group that we have, the Dollars and Cents Society. And the email was too large for me to email it to you all individually in a broadcast. So what I did was I created a Google Drive folder for you guys. And if you sign into your Mighty Networks account, you'll be able to access all of the freebies in a section of the Mighty Networks community, as well as the replay. So it's all in one place. And then you can just click on the Google Drive and copy all that shit over. Give me like a thumbs up or something in the comments once, because I know it's a little bit of a delay. But yeah, okay, she gave me hearts. For those of y'all who don't know what I'm talking about, I hit 10K on Instagram last month, and like we did like a spur of the moment credit crash course. Bro, it was like a 3-hour session. It was never supposed to be that long. Shout out to y'all. It was like 7 people who rocked with me the whole fucking time. Y'all are awesome. And so I was like, oh, I want to give y'all some free, like a bunch of these freebies and shit. And it's actually even more going to be added to the Google Drive. I had to edit some stuff because a lot of that stuff was from the beginning of the year or the year prior. But there's a ton of stuff in there. Budget templates, like little tip checklists and stuff like that I've created kind of over the years and kind of put it in there for y'all. So, but if you attended the webinar, then you got early access to my new accountability group that's coming out. Well, technically it's already out, but and so they got early access, and they have a special little section that they can get into to see the replay from that webinar, because it's not available nowhere else, only in there, or if you registered, it's in your email. But I mean, I guess we could talk about that for a little bit, because somebody just asked me about it. I didn't mean to put that out here on here, but not my job had me on mandatory overtime. Oh, absolutely not. But so the community, right? So for those of you who aren't aware, I have a Facebook group, and the Facebook group has been cool over the years, but I've gotten so many complaints because a lot of people not on Facebook, especially because like the younger my audience gets, they're not on Facebook. It's our old asses that's on Facebook religiously updating our status about shit nobody care about. So I was looking for a way to kind of take that platform off social, and I ended up creating a Mighty Networks community called the Dollars and Cents Society. And that's going to be where I host all of my courses from now on. That's going to be where we do webinars, and all that content and stuff is going to live in there. So we just launched it over the weekend. It's only been open for a couple of days to the people who got the early access codes or people who joined the wait list. And so like we're testing out all the features. We got polls, we got questions, we have a chat. They received a chat message in the app, because it's a separate app, that tells them like, hey, I'm about to go live, y'all, and we about to talk about this. I'll be able to go live inside the group, and stuff like that. Like it's a ton of stuff that's going to be coming out of this. And so all of the free features are available for them to kind of come in and poke around. If you want access to it, or you just want to be nosy and see what the fuck we in there talk about, all you got to do is go to my website, themoneyplug.co. And then when you see the section about the accountability group, like under the services and stuff that I offer, you can go ahead and join the wait list. Every about 3 or 4 days, I'll be bringing in more people, so that more people can test out the features and stuff like that for the hard launch that's coming next month. But yeah, that was a lot. That's what that conversation was about. But man, I've been working too. I still got so many people email me their addresses because they wanted, if you attended the thing, these look familiar. Shout out to Advantage Publishing, but I have these calculators, and yes, these are calculators, that I had introduced during the webinar. And so I was like, yo, give me y'all address and I'll mail y'all some. So I ain't forget about y'all. I have a pile of them because like emails are still coming in. I just haven't had the time. So I'll make sure I'm actually took a couple of days off. So I'm actually gonna get these out this week and mailed out to you guys, as well as a couple of my business cards, right? If you haven't seen my dope ass business cards, I've had debit cards. They're actual plastic with the raised numbers. It's really cool. Give them to your friends, tell a friend to tell a friend, right? So this one is one of my favorite. This actually not one of, this is my favorite. It's talking about like, I like to call this the how much do that shit really cost calculator, right? That's not what it's called. It's actually called the credit card smarts calculator, but I call it the how much do that shit really cost calculator. And what it does is it reminds you to calculate the interest on purchases you're making on your credit card. So let's say if you have about $6,000 in debt, right? That's what this says. If you pay just the minimum payment every month, and this assumes that your minimum monthly payment is 3% of your outstanding low balance with 18% interest rate, right? Which obviously for a lot of y'all on y'all credit cards, this is super low. So you like your numbers might be a little bit higher than this, but this is a good way to get like a roundabout way. So if you have about $6,000 in debt and you pay just the minimum, you will pay a total of $11,538 for your debt, including $5,538 in interest charges, and you will make monthly payments for 17 years. You see why these is goaded, bro? And I'm talking, it goes like you can pull it 5,000, 4,000, right? And it helps you kind of calculate all of that. These are really cool. And on the page 2, up here, we'll go back to the 6,000. Now see how much you can save. So if your monthly payment is 3% of your balance, so you're paying $180, you'll be paying it for 17 years, no interest saved. But if you increase to 4%, which is $240, you can pay it back in 12 years, pay way less in interest, right? $2,000 less in interest. So I absolutely love this calculator. 0% for 1 year, then forget to pay it off. Like, no, but that literally happens to people, and that's why it's important to have tools like this. And I love that it's not digital, because y'all will download an app and fucking forget about it. So I love that it's something physical, tangible that you can hold on to. The other one, this is my favorite. And we're gonna be using these for our we just got a letter. Look at my intrusive thoughts. When we start like our savings challenges and shit, and y'all ask me like, damn, like where can I find money in my budget to like save and da 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 da. That's where this come in, right? So this is so cool. So it shows you that if you spend less amount of money a day, right, it'll show you how much you'll end up saving in a year. So for those of you who maybe don't have an emergency fund, and maybe one of your New Year's resolutions is to build an emergency fund by the end of the year, you want to have at least $1,000 put into the savings account. If you spend $4 less a day, right, and you take that $4 and you put it into your HYSA, y'all know I love me a good high yield savings account, then you can have about $1,400. So 1,460 actually is what it says. But you can have about $1,400 saved up by the end of the year. So, and it's like, and it gives you suggestions. I know Instagram can really see it. Oh, y'all can see it too. It gives you suggestions on like common items that people spend their money on, and like how much that item is, so how much you would be saving. So like for me, if y'all know me, I got one of these close by. I got it from my grandma. Don't do me. But if you see me, you see one of these close by. I know that I get these 2 for $4 or from the 7-Eleven over there. So if I know, listen, I'm trying to save about $1,000 a year. I know that means I need to take away 2 of my Pepsis. 2 of my Pepsis a day. Well, if I drink that many a day. But you get where I'm going. You picking up what I'm putting down. How do you take care of derogatory marks like closed accounts or collections off your credit? What would the process look like? It depends on the account. I know a lot of times, like, you'll hear us talk about the templates, but the templates don't work if you don't understand why they work, right? And that's a big thing, and why I really like hate a lot of people on TikTok. I have these. So if you want these, you would have to get these from me. And if you want some of these, you got to email me. My email address is Markia B, MARKIA, the letter B, at themoneyplug.co, or you can click the link in my bio and go to my website. But yeah, these are mine. Shout out to Advantage Publishing, because that's who made these for me. But anyway, that process depends on the account. There are a ton of templates that will tell you if you just send this, it'll get it taken care of. But every case is different, right? So if you have an account that's derogatory because you had late payments, and that account is nowhere near the 7-year reporting time, and that account is now closed, so like there's no more activity on the account, you've already paid it or whatever, and like there's nothing else you can do with it. Unfortunately, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna be stuck with that derogatory mark, and that won't come off because there's no incentive for the company to remove those late payments, right? And so they don't have to. And a lot of times when you ask them to stop reporting, they'll write you back and say, actually, per the Fair Credit Reporting Act, as long as this information is accurate, I can report it all I want to up to the 7 years. And they're not wrong. So you would handle that a little bit differently than, say, a collection, because with a collection, you lose points for having a collection. Doesn't matter if it's paid or if it's unpaid. So if you negotiate the removal of the account upon payment, right, because you're leveraging, you want this money, I want that shit taken off. scratch my back, I'm scratching your back. And it's totally legal because there is no history associated with these accounts. So they're not obligated to report them once they're paid. So they're handled differently. And it also depends on why you want them taken off, because just because you want something taken off your credit is not a good enough reason for a dispute. That's also something else that you guys gotta understand. Just because you want it off don't mean it's coming off. Okay, collaboration. Yes, because period. Shout out to Kirby. I love her down. She did her big one with these. Let me tell y'all. I love using these in like workshops and shit. I just got another 0% card into the balance transfer. I'm gonna pay it off this time. So that is an option. So shout out to you for bringing that up, Megan. For those of you who still got like decent credit, right? But you're noticing like, all right, bro, my balances is up kind of high, but this interest is whooping my ass. Something that you can do is you can try to see if you qualify for a card that offers a 0% balance transfer, right? 0% interest balance transfer. So then you can transfer your balances to this card and aggressively pay it down, right? And shout out to me because in my shop, I have a Google dashboard. For those of you who are unfamiliar what it is, it's just a Google Sheets that has the pre-filled in fields. So you just plug and play. You get an aggressive pay down schedule. You pay that shit down before it starts charging you interest. Usually it's like 0% interest for like 18 months or something like that. And if you aggressively pay it off before the end of the 18 months, congratulations, you didn't pay no interest on it. But obviously that only works if you qualify for that card. So that's also something else. What else y'all want to talk about before I get off of here? Because I'm tired. It's been an hour. I said I was only going to do it for an hour. Really, I'm just trying not to go to sleep too early. Hey, I'm trying not to go to sleep too early. I've been going to sleep way too early and then waking up at 1 o'clock in the morning like this, looking like a coochie copy. Shout out if you watch Bob's Burgers. If you're in school, federal student loans are at a lot lower interest than your debt probably is. I hate that. You want to know something crazy? I don't even like talking about student loans, bro, because I don't understand that struggle, and I feel I can't relate to people when y'all get to talking about student loans because like I don't have that problem, and it's really hard for me to give advice on something or to understand. It's really hard for me to grasp, I think, the detriment or like the danger that a lot of people are in because of their student loans. And so I usually like I'll pass on the information that other people posted. I just don't be feeling authentic sometimes if I sit there and start talking about how, oh my God, we're so worried about our student loans. Bro, I ain't got none. And if it's up to me, I'm not gonna have none. And that's a very privileged experience to have. Even though how I got that privilege sucked ass, but Um, so I always try to share people who talk about student loans. I typically don't make my own content about it, other than like passing on information I heard. When are you on live now? So I wasn't on a schedule for a while. And if y'all was watching me on like Facebook or whatever earlier, y'all saw it when it cut out and stuff. My internet out here is so ass. So it's really hard for me to go live across all of my platforms, which is another reason why I did Mighty Networks, because I can do lives specifically in there and then save that content and like I'll upload it to YouTube or something like that. So eventually once the platform gets big enough, that's what I'm gonna do. As of right now, it's looking like beginning February I'm going to be live every Monday, is what it's looking like if my calculations are correct. Um, so that's something for y'all to put on your calendar. It hasn't been announced yet, but it has been announced that I'm bringing back What Would the Money Plug Do? So I'm super excited about that. Which is like if you've been on my TikTok, that playlist that's like How to Catch a Credit Guru, it's pretty much that, but like way better. It's like a segmented live show that I do, and it'll be chopped up and put on YouTube for you guys. So it's super entertaining. I'm super excited and kind of ironing out the logistics of that. Yeah. But yeah, so look, starting February, Monday afternoons, I'll have a time and stuff. If you're on my email list, of course you're gonna be getting all that information. But starting February on Mondays is when I'm gonna be going live. I took out a student loan while I was in school just to pay off debt. The interest is like 3.5 GI Bill pay for my school. Bro, you can do that. Oh, because the money would just come to you then. Yeah. Damn. Can't wait to work with you again. Oh, for real? That makes me feel so good. Listen, there's so much more dope, like really dope stuff coming. And then I'm doing a lot more group stuff. So I love working with y'all one on one, but y'all be killing me because like my schedule be packed. And as much as I like to be booked and busy, I need to breathe. So I'm gonna be introducing a lot more group settings this year and like cohorts and like doing like aggressive debt pay down challenges and savings challenges and like I'm so excited for this Mighty Networks community. So if you want in on the community, like I said, click the link in my bio. You can go to my website. Um, yeah, if you just go to my website, as a matter of fact, yeah, there's a link that you can click under like the services I provide that talk about the accountability group. I'm telling you, it's gonna be lit. You don't want to miss it. Because yeah, the Facebook group is gonna get archived. We're switching completely over to that. Can y'all hear my ass? My ass, man. I can't wait to use this portable nebulizer. Let me tell you. But that's all I got for y'all. Any more questions or anything before I get off? I've been on here for an hour. I'm tired. It's been a long day. I know you'd be busy, but I ain't had a Kia call in forever. But I'm proud of you. Oh, thanks, Megan. I know we need to like set up like a girls' date so we can catch up on life. Mm, 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 mm. All right, if y'all ain't got no questions, y'all know what I always say, right? Live every day like it's your last, but pay your bills and wear condoms just in case it's not. It ain't on you, it's in you. Um, and they mad because they not you. So I love you guys. If you guys got any questions or you're not comfortable asking your questions out loud, you can always email me at markiab@themoneyplug.co, not .com. So it's MARKIA, the letter B, at themoneyplug.co. You can find me on all platforms at THEE Moneyplug, including Pinterest. Shout out to my Pinterest peoples. Y'all know the YouTube going up at THEE Moneyplug. Hey, you Conjay, you just missed the whole fucking live, girl. The whole live. I'm getting off now. I feel like part of that was no, I say that every time I'm getting off, Megan. I swear I say that every time I'm getting off. But yeah, y'all have a good night. Y'all be safe. And I will be seeing y'all really, 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 really soon. All right. All right.